Welcome to the Northern Knits Podcast. We are two friends in fiber coming to you from Winnipeg, Manitoba and Waterloo, Ontario. My name is Jocelyn. My co-host is
Diana.
And at episode 172, which if I don't spit out right now, I'll forget, we're going to bemoan the weather, talk about knitting crafts, discuss why the safe space is always bad words coming out of my mouth, and hopefully kind of coherently have a podcast at the end of this because Jocelyn is overly caffeinated and still drinking her coffee.
Yeah, coherency is out the window.
We're done. It's over. Thanks for coming, folks. We'll be here all week.
Well, I guess we should start with what's in your cup, because as soon as you told me that, I'm like, okay, well, there's no coherency this week.
Nope, it's out the window. Listen, it's entirely my fault. I got nobody to blame but myself. So I decided to make myself a really large pot of coffee today because I was like, oh, I got meetings and stuff to do today, so that needs to happen. So I absolutely am drinking some sweet espresso beans from the Ethical Bean, and I have them in my big Christmas mug, and I have it in my big Christmas mug with extra zero sugar or 0 calories, zero whatever sweetener that I like to add. I got two. I have a mocha and I've got a vanilla. So I made a vanilla mocha sweet espresso coffee.
That sounds lovely.
It is quite lovely, but it's also a lot of coffee. So I'm going to be jittery. And a ginger ale.
Because why not?
Because why not? You make a thingy with tea.
I did. I dug in my tin of one-offs, and I found a packet of organic Choco Chaga Detox from David's Tea.
Okay.
It contains cocoa beans, black tea, cocoa husk, roasted chicory root, carob, and chaga. I have no idea what that means. I don't know, it was one tea bag. I have no idea where it came from, but I have it, and I'm drinking it, and it's chocolatey. I don't know where the detox part of it comes in, but, it's chocolatey. It smells nice.
It is.
Would recommend.
Tea. Woo!
It is, in fact, tea. It does contain tea, unlike many of David T's.
Nope.
Where's the apostrophe on that? Many of the teas from David's Tea are not actually tea because they don't contain anything from the tea plant. This actually does contain tea leaves, so it is actually tea.
Ooh.
Not that there's anything wrong with tea containing no tea. Those still delicious.
Yes,
they're just not technically tea.
No, that's fine. I eat lots of things that technically have nothing in them but chemicals, but they're still a thing. That's fine. All right, for everybody who's watching, yes, I'm adjusting my hair because it's very floofy today. So the whole hair down thing isn't going to work for me because it's already irritating me and in my face. It's gone up in a half ponytail.
Now my hair's floofed out 3 times its normal size with all the humidity. Of course, then. Yeah, well, it rained on Friday. Like, it just poured for a few hours. So a lot of the humidity's gone down, and now my hair is just, like, shriveled up and it's dry and it's still frizzy, and, like, it just can't win.
It's a good thing you love, and look good in a top bun, because I feel like that's going to be your friend right now.
It's the go-to hairstyle. I don't even have to brush my hair to put it up like this. I do, usually. Because when I get into that habit, I accidentally end up going like entire weeks without actually brushing my hair. And you should not go entire weeks without brushing your hair when you've got 4 feet of hair. That's painful.
Oh my God, you are crazy.
What? I've done that to myself twice now. I do not recommend.
Why would you do that to yourself?
It's a bad idea.
Oh my God.
It's just so easy to throw it up in this bun, and you just like don't have to deal with it. And like, okay, I'll brush it tonight, and then you don't brush it tonight, and I'll brush it tomorrow, and you don't brush it tomorrow, and then suddenly a week's gone by, and you're like, oh, wow, okay, let's just wash this with half a bottle of conditioner and half a bottle of detangling spray after, and a lot of patience. And
no, oh my God, it's so bad, so bad.
Suddenly, the 2-minute job of brushing my hair becomes a 20-minute job.
Oof. Ugh. All right.
Should we talk about what we're working on?
Oh, yeah. Probably. Good idea, since we hear knitting needles clanking.
You have one more thing than me this week. I
You
actually
know,
have things. Things plural.
and that's super okay because you're allowed to have more than one thing. We're allowed to have the same number of projects. In fact, at some point, it has happened in the past, it may happen again in the future. You may have more projects than me.
Those are scary times.
Those are scary times. All right, so I picked up my niece's flax, which is what I'm going to be working on while we podcast here. I picked up the stitches again. You may know I took it off the stitches to put it on the child before she left, so I could double check my finished length measurements. And oh my god, her wingspan's going to kill me. So this is a flax card or flax pullover by Tin Can Knits. I am holding 2 fingering weights double to get to the worsted, and it is being made out of the body, and the arms are being made out of some wonderful Algria yarn from Manos de Aragre. It is their fingering weight yarn. In this case, it happens to be in super bright pink, and I'm holding the super bright pink with their highlighter variegated colorway to make this beautiful marled little sweater dude.
It's looking so good. I love that.
So we got the stitches picked up, and by we, I mean my niece picked up the stitches because I told her it was her frickin' sweater, so she was going to learn how to do this for me because I find picking up stitches very tiring, which meant I had to go back through the stitches and double check to make sure they'd been all picked up. She only missed 12 stitches, and it was her very first pickup.
That's really not bad.
So she's done quite well. There's a couple of things I need to fix on my first round here going around. So, and that's totally fine. So that's happening, and that's a thing. And I'm very excited. So I need to get the body to be 19, no, what is it? It's 1.5 inches, 18.5 inches from underarm down, and then I can do the 1.5 inch ribbing at the bottom. That's right, people. That's how long her torso is. Then I need to go
It's just like a long stick.
It's just a long stick. And then we've got positive ease. We've got about 3 inches of positive ease around the girls. So we've got space to become more girly. We're already complaining about our chest. And then as she hit 13 and we just insta-teenagered. Then I'm going to have to do her sleeves after that. And that's going to be a bit of a longer process because each arm from underarm to wrist to bendy joint is almost 20 inches.
Goodness. I don't know if my arms are even that long.
She's got her aunt's arms. I'm like, why? Why am I cursed? So, no. The bright side is that's pretty much my inseam on my arm length, so I'll have a very good idea when I'm at the right length for her. So that's fine. It's fine. It's fine. I can do that. So I'm going to work on that while we podcast as my thing to knit. So you'll hear some clanking of needles and stuff while I pick it up. You want me to do one more item and then we're on an even keel?
Sure.
All right, I will preempt your finished object with my finished object.
2 finished objects this week. Oh my goodness. What are we going to do?
The zombies are coming. All right, I finally finished a Summer Nights cardigan. It is a shade cardigan. It is
so great.
Just so freaking spring. It's just spring. So darn cheerful. I'm so happy with it. So, in the realm of Everybody Loves Repeats, this is made of some ice cream big scoop yarn from Loops and Threads, Lion brand?
Loops and Threads, I think.
Loops and Threads. The colorway is called Mochi. It's fine, but I'm going to call this Spring Garden or Dandelion Garden. It's going to do something, guys. It's got this beautiful light medium grass green into whites, into like yellow spring flowers. You get the idea. It's outside in springtime.
Looks so good.
If you happen to live in the Northern Hemisphere and have outside in springtime. Then I talked to my sister, who is my go-to person when I ask questions like, should I have a color contrast here? And she goes, yes or no. And she said, yes. So the crochet ribbing on my cuffs, on my sleeves, and my little collar, because I don't like the look of a naked crochet edges. I gotta have some sort of collar detailing. So all of my trim everywhere is actually in a blue, soft denim faded blue in a cotton.
Okay.
So it's a cotton acrylic sweater, which is fine because you can wash and dry cotton acrylic pretty much the same way. And since it's a blue acrylic, it's not like I'd be bleaching the thing. So that's on and done. And I think it's like it was just a numbered blue. So it's just some leftover cotton that I have. So it's just a light faded blue denim. So it is done. The ends are woven in heavens. No, I have not thrown this in the washing machine because wash day is tomorrow. So I'm going to weave in the end
Great.
and do it. I ended up not going with full sleeves. I ended up going with sleeves that are about elbowish length. They'll be just past elbow length when the pattern gets stretched out, because you do the pattern on the sleeves that you do on the body. No, sorry, you double crochet the sleeves. So I'm not 100% solid. I was thinking I would do full sleeves because, use up yardage, right? I went to go do the second decrease on the sleeve 5 times and I kept messing it up. I got so angry that the 5th time I pulled it out, I put the sleeve on, like I put the cardigan on and went, you know what? No, these are just gonna be elbow length.
It's totally fine.
Like, I'm done. I'm done. This is getting stupid. So I did that and it looks great. So I'm like, cool, good design decision, Jocelyn.
Yeah. Totally on purpose.
Totally on purpose.
Absolutely.
So, finished. I'm ready for the washing machine tomorrow. And I can't throw it beside or behind me because my screen's right up behind me.
All right. I finished a thing too. I finished a thing. Finished a thing. How long has it been since I finished a thing?
Whenever you finished your sweater, because that was the last thing you finished.
That's been a couple months. It's been since I've been here.
Yep.
Okay, wait, which way is the right way up? This way. And it's garter stitch, so it's not really right and the wrong side. I finished the Endless Summer Adventures shawl.
Woohoo!
I'm so excited. I'm so excited. So this is, yes, the Endless Summer Adventures by one Jocelyn Douglas. And I did it out of some cotton from Creek Gardens Crafts. Creek Gardens Craft? I'm really bad with S's today. I don't know. It'll be linked properly in the show notes. And the colorway is called Speckled Jewels. It is a white with blue and purple and slightly pink speckles. You can kind of see really nicely right here as I try not to dip my end in my tea. And I am so happy with the way this came out. This is a single skein of yarn, and it's like my entire wingspan, pretty much. It's actually, yes, my entire wingspan in one skein of yarn. So, like 12 out of 10 for one skein wonder projects.
Beautiful.
Highly enjoy this pattern. And it's
I'm
cotton,
still shocked
so
at how fast that knit up for you.
So you can actually I can actually wear it in the summer, and it's just like, I actually want to wear it like a shawl though, because the point of this was for those cooler-ish summer nights that we're totally not having, but the idea was, just because it's hot during the day, so you're wearing something sleeveless, and then at night you want some kind of something. So that's what this was for.
Some kind of something, hey?
Some kind of something on your shoulders, upper arms. So
this is what happens when we have meetings before we podcast. Our words are gone. They're just gone.
All the words are gone. Oh. So I'm super happy with this project. Would highly recommend, not just because it's Jocelyn's pattern, but just us.
Some people are not going to believe you.
I know, but honestly, good pattern. Really enjoyed this knit.
I'm glad you liked it. I've enjoyed it enough that, well, even though I've knit it 3 times, I keep looking at your cotton one going, I could use a cotton version. Oh, I've got skeins of yarn.
I was
aware of how fast that knits up.
As I was filing the last tiny bit of yarn away with my other fingering weight yarn ends, I came across the tin containing my hand spun, and I've got some roughly fingering weight white with speckles hand spun, and I'm like, ooh, does that also? I don't know what it is about this shawl. It's just I need to make it with all the variations of white with speckle.
Okay, that's your white with speckle pattern. Got it.
It just, in my mind, it needs to be white with speckles.
Got it.
Don't know why.
Well, because I've got a couple of 3/4 skeins where they were things that I made other stuff with, but ended up not working out, so I ripped them out. And I feel like if I put all 3 of the 3/4 skeins together, it would make one beefy, drapey cotton shawl that I could
I have to
stripe
put it on
across
my
the
head
whole.
because it's a finished object.
It is
There
a
we go.
subject. It should go on your head, yes.
I don't think I put the flax on my head because I was wearing it. Huh.
Okay,
I haven't done this in a while.
the white thing on top of your head looks ridiculous because it's on top of your butt, on top of your headphones.
Yep.
Actually, it looks like you have a white cephalopod on the top of your head that's out to consume your brains. Like, what are you doing?
It's a Luke. Lewk. This is, wow. I'm
People are gonna think we're recording Monday night. This is why we're
all right, that's enough of that. Oh no, it's stuck on my hair stick. Okay, we're good. So
You're good?
that's gonna need to get washed and blocked. I don't honestly know how much blocking I'll do. I will probably, because I still can't find a freaking sink plug.
I'd forgotten about that.
So I've just been throwing all my hand washing in a laundry bag in the delicate cycle on the washing machine, and it's been working fine. So, because normally what I would do with this is soak it and then lay it out on blocking mats. But since I'm going to have to throw it in the laundry machine anyway, because can't find a freaking sink plug, everywhere's either out, like everywhere's just out, and I don't know why I can't buy a freaking sink plug.
I will point out, it's cotton. You can wash it.
Yeah, so the blocking is probably going to be I lay it out on my drying rack.
Yeah, that sounds legit.
Because I just don't really feel like pinning it out, and I don't really feel like it needs it, honestly. Like, it looks pretty great the way it is, so I'm just going to let it stretch out naturally, and whatever it does, it does.
Beautiful. I like it.
Pretty.
I'm very glad you made one.
And then I'll take it to the park, the Waterloo Park, and take pretty pictures of it later this week. Probably next weekend, honestly, since laundry day is Wednesday.
You guys are good at photos. Excellent. I'm so excited. So
Okay.
pumped.
That's my finished object.
I have 2 more things. You want me to do my last 2 things and then you will do a thing, or do you got 2 things?
I got 2 things.
I'll do a thing and then you can do a thing.
We can alternate.
What?
Almost like we're equal.
Listen, your ability to focus is great, and I have a sweater suggestion for you, and it came from one of our listeners, watchers, viewers. I don't know what word. We don't have a cute kind of group name thing for the people who watch us, and nobody wants me doing that. You guys know me. You don't want me naming you. It's a bad idea. It's a bad idea. So don't let me do that. So I never know what to call everybody. The internet that watches us, the portion of the internet that watches us, one of them posted their first finished sweater for the Patreon knit along.
Ooh, already.
And I feel like you should find yarn for that pattern to make it, because it is a U pattern. So it is obviously a pullover colorwork sweater. Because that's how Diana and me function. I'm like, oh, Diana's making progress on something. Let me just tempt her by showing her all these things.
Let me just show you all of the shiny things and try to tempt you like a magpie.
She does it to me, guys. Do not feel sorry for her.
Yeah. Yeah, I do.
Oh, Jocelyn, you like things. Here's the thing. Listen, she knows I have poor impulse control.
I mean, would you rather I not share the things with you?
Oh, share the things with me. I'm fine with my poor impulse control. It's never bothered me. I bothered me before.
That's what I thought.
The littlest flax is making some progress. It now has
sleeve.
a sleeve, a whole complete sleeve.
Cute.
So this is another flax pullover. This is for the littlest Copen. So a couple of friends of mine, who happen to also be a couple, who have a small human. can you tell this needs to be washed because it just came off the needles. A little stiff. So I've got her very pink flat, so much pink going on. I don't know why I started knitting nothing but pink, but here we are. She got one sleeve done, and I've got the stitches picked up for the other sleeve. So I should have a finished size 2 to 4, 2 to 3, 2 to 3, no, 2 to 4 size, your sized flax. And then the first Christmas gift is finished. Which, if I'm honest, the baby will probably get in fall, and I'll make something else because I'm bad at waiting. Did the sleeve. I only got mad at it twice because I don't know what it is with sleeves, and this is a very small sleeve on a very small person, and yet still, like, I still have the string where I put the stitches on hold on the first sleeve attached to the sweater. I should pull that out. It doesn't seem to matter. We've now discovered what size of the sweater sleeve I'm knitting. I still absolutely bemoan the process of knitting the first half of the sleeve. Getting from the shoulder to the elbow takes forever in my mind. Forever.
But elbow to wrist doesn't?
But elbow to wrist doesn't really take as long. I'm like, what is this?
Weird.
What is this? I didn't even mind the ribbing at the wrist. I was like, no, it'll take forever ribbing. And I was like, oh, I'm already where I need to be. Cool, bind off, done. All right, I guess. But that first section of sleeve, I've come to hate. I have come to hate. So I'm super stoked to start Isabel's sleeves for her sweater. It's great. Looking forward to it. I'm so stoked. Ugh. But that's it. I have no real idea about the yarn for the Littlest Coppet. No, wait. I know the pink. The pink is 2 strands of yarn held together from another ice cream big scoop in the colorway pink. It's a lightly variegated pink, so it goes from like pink to lighter pink to lightest pink to white. So it gets, again, it's another sort of marled look when I hold the two of them together, but that's how that's working. And her trim at her collar, her hem, and her wrists are in a dark green in a random acrylic ball that I have, because that particular mommy prefers to be able to wash and dry her stuff and likes acrylic knits. So that's what I made her baby.
Makes sense.
Mm-hmm. Where I've made my niece promise me 4 times to never wash the sweater I'm making her on her own, to come ask an adult for help.
Yeah, because if that shrinks in the wash, ooh.
It's technically, I think it's a super wash, but even then I'm like, oh, let's just play it safe.
Yeah.
Just play it safe, because I'm not doing this again in these colors. I feel like my retina is being burnt out. All right. You said you have multiple things, so you're up.
I have multiple things. Because it is no longer hellishly hot and humid, I, upon finishing one shawl, need another shawl. So I picked up the Lighthouse again. We'll just fold over that bit. So I am now completely into color B and done with color A. Color A being this gorgeous wine red color.
Woo, that looks good.
Right? Color B is a white speckle, white base with pink and blue and purple speckle, because apparently that's what I love right now.
No, I really like that. Oh, I need to make one of those.
Right? So this is a crochet shawl design by, just throw that over here.
So cute design.
Thank you. Wow, that just fell right out of my head.
I'm like,
totally fell right out of my head.
Just watched your Blue of Death.
Hardcore. Okay, it's that shawl. Not so cute designs. Gosh. The yarn I'm using is Midnight Cravings.
Did it run away on you?
It did. It's on the floor now.
It really ran away on you.
Oh, it did. I even pulled out a few stitches with that one. Oops. Let me just pull that yarn through there a little bit more so I don't lose any more stitches. It only pulled out like 4. It's fine. One Is it the Lush base? Hang on. I haven't read the Ball Band weekly for the last month. Lush, yes, it's Midnight Cravings Lush base, 4-ply fingering, which is a superwash merino. The color B, which is the white with the speckle, is Canasta. The red is Sangria. And then the third color, which I'll get to eventually, is Smoke and Mirrors, as the pattern stipulates. I'm actually using a color and yarn as listed in the pattern. That never happens.
Crazy talk.
But you know, we're getting there. We're getting there. And this is going to be a stunningly large shawl. Like, I definitely, based on the pattern picture, I thought it was going to be small. Like, I thought like this was going to be pretty much the finished size.
Nope.
It's going to get considerably bigger.
I know. You said that's a Lush, that's a DK?
No, it's fingering weight.
It's fingering? Oh,
Yeah.
I'm going to have to find 3 fingering skeins I like together to make one.
Just look at this. Look at this stitch here. It's an extended single crochet stitch
Yeah, so good. Looks so pretty.
through the back loop. So it's got this squishy ribbed thing going on, plus the yarn itself is just squishy. So it's just
Super
so it's just
Squish squared.
squish. It just squishes so much. This is gonna be the best fall shawl into winter shawl. It's gonna be so good.
So good.
And it's actually not in crazy bright colors, so it'll match with some of my clothes ever.
Oh.
I mean, I don't really own colors anymore. I've like gotten rid of all my colors and everything's sort of neutral, gray, black, white, dark red. I don't know, everything kind of became neutral, and then I have these brightly colored shawls that I wear with it. I believe it is your turn for a thing.
It is my turn for a thing, and I'm almost done knitting my first round and double checking all my picked up stitches. And there was only 2 twisted ones so far that have caused me to look off screen and look pensive at my knitting really close to my face. All right. For fun on Instagram, I did a late night knits. It's a little Instagram live thingy. I think I talked for an hour and it cuts me off, so that's about how that works for me. And I decided I needed to do something with the very, 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 very pretty Briggs and Little yarn that Diana gave me. So I cast on a shawl. No pattern. I'm making it up as we go. I'm gonna post it on my blog when I'm finished, and it'll just be available for free for everybody. So I'm into the lace that I found that I really like. So I'll make sure that the person who created the lace is accredited for their work, because that's how that works. It's free to use the lace pattern. They just ask that you link back properly like you're supposed to.
Mm-hmm.
So in some Briggs and Little in Country Rose.
Sure. I don't remember.
Dusty Rose. It's the pink you see in country styled houses.
Pale pastel. It's cottagecore pink.
Yeah, it's just one of those pinks, which is totally fine. I like it. So I'm into working on that right now because this is my way of saying winter's coming back. It's just
Winter's always coming.
that this summer is just a moment in time. I just have to breathe, and then the best season of the year will be here before I know it, and this shawl will just help me get there. So it's just a top-down triangle shawl, and I literally cast on and started doing the first little section. So it's going to have some texture, it's going to have some lace, and then I'm going to make it till I feel like it's big enough. I've been writing notes, and then I will whip up a quick blog post and post it on the blog and on my blog, and people can just have it for free if they want the pattern.
Sounds good.
Mm-hmm. So that's how that's working. Also, because it's growing quicker than I thought it might, because I'm not sure how quick it'll grow with the lace, I might not use all of the balls you gave me, and I might have enough left over to make matching mittens.
That'd be nice.
Matching mitten scarf set for winter? I think so. And by matching mittens, I mean mittens in the same color. I'm not doing pattern mittens.
Yeah, if it's the same color, they match.
They match. So I feel like maybe that'll happen. So I don't know. That was I needed something that doesn't have a deadline, doesn't have a time frame, I can just work on it and it's fine. I would have had one more object thingy, but I put it in a safe space, so I can't find it. I wanted to show off my sis love half circle crochet shawl. You'll have to see it next week because I put it away because Dad was coming and I had to clean off couches for people to sleep on, and I don't know where it's gone.
Same safe place as that ball of yarn that one time?
No, because I was out in the open and I checked there.
Now it's the first place you look.
No, it's the first place I looked. So, nope, not there. Because everything else in the apartment is tidied up and I don't just literally have knitting projects sitting out at every place I will stop and sit at, it's in the sewing room. So I just have to go in the sewing room and find it.
All right. Shall I talk about my last thing?
Absolutely.
I needed something small and mindless after I had finished the Endless Summer Adventures, because that's a really nice, simple knit. Gets into a flow really nice. So I cast on a sock, because I haven't done a sock in a while.
It's true.
I've got this much sock out of this lovely self-striping green yarn.
Ooh.
If you remember last time I was knitting socks, it was out of Super Socky 4-Fatch.
For the record, we are aware we're ridiculous.
Yes.
We mispronounce things. We just, Dinah pointed out before we started podcasting, she's like, it's the return of the Super Sucky 4-Fatch. I'm like, the Super Sucky 4-Fatch! I have missed this!
It's online Super Sock, 4-ply in their self-striping line, which is called Forest Color for reasons. I don't know. And this green striping one is colorway 203, I believe, if I'm reading this German correctly.
Sure.
There's a picture of all the colorways, and there's a word underneath, followed by numbers, so I'm assuming it means colorway. There's little numbers next to the colorways in the picture, but the picture's so blurry I can't actually read them. But, you know, it's the green sock in this now extremely blurry picture.
Yeah, holding up the blurry picture
Yeah.
to the camera over the internet's not going to make it less blurry.
Okay. Here's the important part. Online Super Socky 4-Fatch. Online Super Sock.
So good.
Anyway, I started knitting these yesterday.
Oh, you're making good progress. That's just from yesterday.
Yeah, it is. I cast them on while I was making pancakes yesterday morning.
Woo. Okay, I can't even cast on something and make pancakes.
I was waiting for the stove I was waiting for the frying pan to heat up, so. I was gonna say something. Oh yeah. So I started to knit the little toe bit on these, and then Mr. Diana wanders in and was like, oh, that's a nice color. I'm like, it is a nice color. Do you like the color? Would you wear this color? Do you want these socks?
It's a super important question. I will make it for you. Will you wear it?
And so we determined, yes. So these are socks for him. So they are a little bit bigger than I make socks for me, because, you know, men tend to have larger feet.
Doesn't he have like the same size foot I have? Or is it?
Maybe?
Or
I don't know.
Your foot, my foot, his foot? Because I got a pair of socks from you because they didn't fit you and they didn't fit him.
You got the pair of socks that was the right width for me, but too long.
Which would be slightly too narrow for him.
Yeah.
So yeah, it does. It goes your feet, my feet, his feet.
Pretty much.
What's the stitch count? Is he 68, 72? What is he?
I think there's 64, 68 on here. I don't remember. 64, 68. One of those.
Make sure it fits his foot.
Yes. No, I had him try it on while I was still doing the increases. So I should probably have him try it on again and just double check.
Yeah.
Now that there's a little more sock and you can actually get your toe in there.
Yeah. Just to be sure before you knit a whole sock and realize it's the wrong size and I'm getting another pair of socks. Don't get me wrong. I will absolutely wear another pair of socks. That's a pretty shaded green. But it kind of defeats the purpose of making your husband socks if you have to give them away.
I know. Yeah, no, I'll throw these at his feet when we're done here.
That makes sense. Okay. It's just little words of advice from Jocelyn, from me to you. Double check that.
Even if I have to rip these out and start it, well, I guess I wouldn't have to start over, just back to the increases. Yeah. I've just been enjoying having a plain roundy knit that I can stockinette stitch in the round without looking. Like, I barely even have to look to move things around at the end of the magic loop. So it's been so nice to have that again.
Trust me, I was super excited and delighted to discover that I can knit in the round on a sock magic loop while in the dentist chair. There ain't no checking your work when you do that.
Ooh.
Mad skill to have. Knitting without looking. So handy.
Look without looking is the best skill. It's like my most useful skill.
Yeah. I only got 2 more stitches to double check, and then I officially knit the first row after pickup, and we're good.
Nice. I think that is the end of Woolly Workings.
It is.
Ah, okay. That brings us to wool gathering. Ah! I don't know. It was a sound. I'm also rather caffeinated.
Yeah, both of us are. Nobody wanted coherency. Who does coherency these days? All right, so I went to the mart known as the Wall. For those of you who don't speak Jocelyn, who think I've lost my mind, it's Walmart, guys. I went to Walmart because they sell, for me, the Burnett Premium, which I really, really, really like. And if you remember, I'm very slowly working on a very large king-size blanket for one of my aunts. And I needed the next shade of blue.
It's a pretty shade of blue.
It is. So the royal blue, which is a dark blue, which I'm almost done my last ball of. So I need to get started. So I was like, I need to go buy the next shade of blue. So I went and I bought the next shade of blue. And when I turn my magnifier on, I can even tell you what shade of blue it is because these ones come. Could you stop enabling autofocus, app? I don't want you to do that. I'm not interested in that, and I'm not interested in paying for it for no ads. Stop autofocusing. Autofocus on magnifying apps is not as helpful as you think. Just so you knows. Just so you knows, people. It's not always helpful. Because sometimes the screen won't focus.
It focuses on the wrong thing.
Yep. And you're like, wait, you're not doing any good. All right. So I need, for the small 2.5-inch granny squares, I need 6 different shades of blue. And to get the right number of squares, I need to do 2 7-ounce balls. I have fully completed 2 of 6 colorways. I'm finishing the 3rd colorway now, and I have to plow through 3 more colorways. I've been sort of put this on the back burner during Stash Dash because there was no way I was going to get through 3 more colors of blue plus 2 of a neutral, like 2 balls of a neutral color, sew it all together, and then take almost 6 full skeins to do the edging detail.
Yeah, no, that's
I'm fast, but I don't want to be working on a blanket at that weight in August.
No.
So that's been that. I'll work on the squares, but in bits and pieces. So this is a sky blue. Now that I finally got that to work. So I picked up 2 of the sky blue. So I've got 2 more colors of blue to get through, but if I keep working on the squares, then we're good to go. Hey, I'm almost at my Stash Dash goals, if you think about it, because I was at 9 kilometers, and I've got 1 kilometer and change worth in the Summer Nights Cardi, so I'm technically over 10K.
Goodness.
And I got that blanket I want to finish crocheting together for another aunt. That's the Granny Squares from the 365 Granny Square project. I want to do a crochet border and connect. So, like, if I just sat down and did that this week, then I'm well over my Stash Dash goals, so I can just not worry about it. Isn't that crazy?
And here I am, I've finished a shawl.
Listen, you don't set ridiculous arbitrary goals, and you enjoy what you knit.
I didn't set any goals. There were 0 goals.
Well, it's because you're not like me. That's not how you like to knit.
No, I find I'm not really motivated by deadlines and goals and stuff. Like I just pick a thing that's enjoyable to knit, and after a while it's done. And then I have an enjoyable thing to wear.
Yeah, if I don't have deadlines and goals, nothing gets accomplished. I love me a deadline and goal. Do I always make them? No. Do I stress if I don't make them and they're a hobby? no, but I like knowing that, you know what, yeah, let's do something. And then I don't like, what do I want to do? I'm like, no, this has got a deadline. Do this.
Hmm.
It helps with indecision paralysis sometimes for me.
I just kind of pick up whatever thing is the process that I feel like doing at the time.
That works. All right. Well, shall we discuss the big thing for our news?
Yes, let's discuss the big thing.
All right. Still not entirely sure that this is going to come out entirely correctly. So if you see a cut, it's because my first version sounded awful. We tried again. The joys of editing.
Editing makes you sound coherent.
Editing makes you sound coherent. Ravelry has done some updates, and they are experiencing some accessibility issues. Talk to Diana, talk to Asa, who is our amazing moderator. And while we're not leaving Ravelry, we're gonna take a step back while those guys sort of give them a chance to get everything sorted out and figure out what's going on. I had been of the mind that if there was any sort of soapbox, molehill, like if there was anything that I needed to do as Custard's last stand for myself personally, it would be accessibility.
Yeah.
There was one thing I was going to get nitpicky about on the internet. It's really got to be accessibility for me. So while Ravelry's accessibility for my specific requirements for vision loss has never been very good, it's been usable, so I haven't worried about it too much. Now that they're having a sort of a wider range of problems with people since their update, and more people are starting to experience stress about it, I've gone, no, Diana's agreed with me, Asa's agreed with me, and we're going to sort of, for the moment, move our knit-alongs, our posts, our threads and stuff, we're going to move them to the Facebook group. So we're going to update all of our stuff so you guys can link to the Facebook group rather than the Ravelry group. And if you go to the Ravelry group, we're still there. We'll just direct you to the Facebook, but you're going to find us on Facebook first. As Facebook, then Instagram and YouTube, and we're going to give Ravelry the time that they need to sort of get everything worked through, because it's a big problem, it's a big process, and it's not going to be a quick fix. So that's sort of it's what we were doing before we actually started podcast recording, which is why we're out of words, because we've already used them all.
Yes. Yeah. There are a lot of words.
There are a lot of words. So we're doing that, and by the time you guys see this podcast, all of that stuff will be live and updated. So we're super inviting everybody to join us on the Facebook group and to catch us there. I've got it, going to have it set up so that Facebook notifies me only if that goes off. Otherwise, my notifications would be ridiculous. So I got to go in and make some adjustments on my personal side of Facebook so that I'm not getting everything. I'm just getting the specific parts I want so I can turn my notifications on. So I will see it when you guys post there. So we are going to be doing that this week, and it'll be up and running by the time you guys see this. So the fall make-along that's coming up for you guys is going to start in September. It's going to be on Facebook. Posts and stuff, it's all going to be going onto Facebook for now. It also means if you comment and you include a photo or you're posting things, I'm going to be pulling random prize winning for no particular reason from the Facebook group page. The patterns will still be gifted via Ravelry because they are the biggest game in town pattern-wise for gifting patterns, but I am starting to look into alternative places where patterns are sold to see if they also have the ability to gift digital patterns so we can use them as alternatives as well. So just to do things as accessible as possible. Having said that, oh my god, I love Facebook's dark screen. Oh my god.
Yeah, like, it's devs that are making the dark modes, and I know devs love dark mode, so I don't know why it's taking so long to get universal dark mode, because, like, I don't know, I guess marketing has too much power and decided that white was the color. Devs were all like, no, dark mode, we love dark mode. So I just don't know why it's taking so long.
Yeah, dark mode's not great for everybody's vision. It's just really good for my particular requirements because my light sensitivity is quite extreme at this point. So it depends on what it is that you need to have it accessible for. But I am starting to enjoy seeing dark mode pop up on more apps and formats for things. So because it makes things a little less eye strain, less headache inducing, and then Jocelyn can spend more time doing things that aren't related to work and boring stuff. Like interacting with you guys on the Facebook group. Heads up, there are house rules. Double heads up. We're going to ask a really silly, simple question to get into the group. Because that's just how we decided to do things, people.
Basically, did you at least scroll to the bottom of the house rules and read one sentence?
Yeah. Did you at least read the stuff so you know what sort of rules and stuff we want everybody to abide by in the group? They're the usual ones. They're the very fancy worded. Don't be mean.
Be a good human.
Be a good human. Yeah. So that's it. That's just sort of our big news, and we're going to be so excited to be able to go back to Ravelry once they've got themselves all squared away. But for the moment,
they're learning, and it's taking a while.
Takes time. That's fine. Learning does take time, and we're just gonna try to make it easy for everybody else to continue to participate with us. So that's that. Let's talk Patreon.
Oh yeah. Add that bullet point first, and since we did the bullet points out of order, so I'm like, we already did that.
I'm sorry, I didn't realize there was a bullet point order.
It's fine. It's just always it's usually the only bullet point, so it got written down first.
You know, you're not wrong.
All right. Patreon. Patreon is a method of financially supporting us if you can and want to, and it just gets you some extra perks, such as you get to hang out with us once a month on, I guess we're using Google Meet now because it handles groups better, and the group's getting kind of large. Yeah, it's just a Saturday afternoon hangout on the second last Saturday of the month, and we just hang out and drink our caffeinated beverages of choice and talk knitting and crochet and fibery things with our Patreon supporters. That next one is coming up this Saturday, July 18th at noon Central Daylight Time or Manitoba time, since that seems to be a roughly central time zone to most people in attendance.
Yeah.
It's working out so far.
Seems to be the best for everybody, so stick with what works.
And as always, if you aren't able to support us on Patreon, but you would still like to support us, share the YouTube video, share, like, subscribe, talk about us, recommend us, review us on the audio platforms if that's your thing.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Smash that like.
We love reviews.
Just honestly, like commenting anything that increases interactions moves us higher up the algorithm so more people can find us.
That's one way. I like talking to people, so I like.
Also, it's just fun to like know there's actually people on the other end of this, and we're not just screaming into the void.
We are not, as far as I understand, screaming into the void anymore.
No, there just seem to be a few real people on the other end.
Yeah, which is nice, and it's exciting to see what you guys are working on and the projects that are going on, and you know how often I'm being blamed for yet another new cast on. Continue to do so. I will take that blame. You are more than welcome to hide behind my skirts, people. No problem. So yeah, it's exciting, and we've got some updates again because we were chatting with our primary moderator. We've got some updates and stuff that we want to do for Patreon members as well too. So changes everywhere.
Yeah, not too many changes. Minor changes.
Minor changes. Every small step takes us in some sort of a direction.
Steps do generally go in a direction.
Whether or not it's a good direction, we'll find out when we get there. I have to be careful because I'm in my swivel office chair, so I just kind of want to swivel this way. I don't know why. I'm just in the mood to go this way today. No reason.
This desk chair doesn't fit under the kitchen table that is my desk.
Mm-hmm.
So if I swivel too much either way, the arms hit the desk and everything shakes. You have to be very still, and it's very annoying. I know, like my caffeine is just like wearing out. This tea is not caffeinated.
I'm caffeinated, but again, I've only had 2 pieces of toast and a plate of fries today for food. It's not really balanced. I need to eat some more healthy adult food. That'll help.
We had leftover pancakes for breakfast from the pancakes I made
Hey,
yesterday.
that'd be tasty. Why don't we talk books? Are we on to books?
We are on to books. Let's talk about some books.
And then we're good.
Yeah.
Woohoo! Do you want me to just start listing off the plethora of books I
Just go. Go for it.
To be fair, when I listened to Allegiance of Honor, I did it at a really fast speed because it was a recap book. Guys, I've been reading the Nalini Singh Sai Changeling series. And then tangentially connected to the Sai Changeling series was the Trinity series because it's sort of like the next series within the world. So I'd been listening to Shield of Winter, and I was pretty much done that last Sunday. So I finished Shield of Winter up. Then I went to Something of Hope.
Shards of Hope.
Thank you. You're going to see why this was really hard for me. I blasted through that one real quick because it wasn't big. It was like a 9 or 10 hour one. So like that was one day and done. Then there was Allegiance of Honor, which was a recap. Which that's the first time I've ever read a romance series that has had a recap book. I was like, what is this? It's a recap book. What? I expect that in fantasy series and sci-fi series. I've never run across it in romance series before. I've also never made it to book 16 of a romance series. So there might be more out there. Might not have made it.
Is there more coming out in this series, or is everything out?
I've got one more book in the series, and then I'm up to date. But the series, I'm not sure if it's finished or not. I don't, because she's just built such a big world, she can keep going, right? So there are still people in the books who don't have partners yet that could potentially have really good stories. So maybe. Personally, I'm waiting for one of the people from the Ocean Changeling group. I'm really excited for his story. Also, really don't want his story because so long as he doesn't have a story, I can be his mate. And that changes once he has his story. So kind of torn on that decision. But there you have it. So anyway, did Allegiance of Honor, and I did that actually almost on a 2x speed because again, it was a recap, and I've been binging the series, so I didn't really necessarily need the recap. So I listened to it pretty quickly, and I got some small updates and stuff in Foundation. Then there is Silver Silence, Silent Silver.
Silver Silence.
Silver Silence, which I thoroughly enjoyed because then you get to meet bear changelings. Hello. They're a delightful group of changelings. That was just, so good. So good. The main male character walks around and goes, no, don't be bear. Be sneaky like cat. In a bad Russian accent. I'm like, oh, yes.
Oh my gosh.
Yes. So excited for this. I think that's the book where the Wild Woman magazine chapter breaks start occurring. Because she does chapter breaks, so you get these little snippets. So you'll get like a bits of a poem from a Sai poet from like the 19th century, or you'll get a little blurb of something, and it'll be like from so and so's personal notes with a date on it. So like really cute little chapter dividers. And I think that's where the Wild Woman magazine chapter dividers started occurring. So it's like Cosmo, but for the world. So you just imagine.
Series sounds amazing. I'm gonna have to read it. I have to read this.
So cute. So Silver Silence, that was done, and I was hooked. I was like, oh yeah, great, let's keep going. I'm still really excited about this. After Silver Silence, there was Ocean Light, which is the first one with the ocean changelings, and they're a completely different changeling structure from the land-based changeling structure. So that was really interesting to read because she changes things in her formats. So we did that one, and I was like, oh, that was one of those ones. Silver Silence and Ocean Light where it was just heart-wrenching, and I'm crying at parts of it. Even I know they're gonna be fine. I know. I was like 2 of them back to back. I'm like, oh my god, I'm gonna die if the third one's back to back. It's fine. Wolf Rain, which is the one I literally finished just before we started recording the podcast. It was like I literally got the thank you for listening to this audiobook. We hope you enjoyed it. Clip you get at the end of Audible. I hung it up and called Diana on Zoom. Like, I just, like, that's how finished record we were on this one. So I just finished Wolf Rain, which was a Wolf Psy pairing. And so now there's only Alpha Knight. That is the latest released book. And then I am full up on the series in the main books. I did not read the 0.5s, 0.75s, 0.25s. I didn't read any of the little novellas in between. Those I tend not to read. They don't keep my attention for whatever reason. So they're there if I'm in a pinch and I need new world info. But for the moment, I don't feel the need to go into it. So I have finished 18 books in a month-ish.
Good grief. Feeling inadequate with my reading over here.
Don't. You've seen me, like, how much fairy tale did I consume when I got hooked on that? Like, it's hours. And I did 20 seasons of Time Team in less than 2 months. And yeah, there were UK seasons, so sometimes there was only 8 or 12 episodes. But some of the later series go for more than that, and they're like 40-minute long programs.
Goodness.
It's like, when I'm in something, I'm obsessed until I get caught up. I consume like crazy. So I don't know. I might read the last book in the series. I might leave it, because if I can leave it and then I get that itch to read it, at least I have something new to listen to. But if I listen to it, then I don't have anything new to listen to by Nalini Singh in that specific series till she writes another one. So I'm at that quandary. Do I? Don't I? Do I? Don't I?
It's a big quandary. I understand the quandary.
You'll find out next week. It just depends. So that's really all I've done all week is knit, crochet, and listen to books. That's it.
I've been watching a lot of Enterprise on Netflix.
Nothing wrong with that. I like Enterprise. It's a good series.
We finished season 2 last night.
Woohoo! You guys are making great strides.
Yeah, that's usually what's going on when I'm knitting. Rather than listening to a book, I'm watching Star Trek. It's apparently what I do now.
That's fine. Again, like, it's a bad thing. It's not.
Which we also binged Warrior Nun in a weekend, and last night we watched a movie with where Charlize Theron is a super cool immortal mercenary.
What?
Yeah. It's called The Old Guard. It's like a 2-hour movie on Netflix. It's really good. Super great female characters, action scenes. And the sweetest, most amazing declaration of love that I have ever heard. It was between 2 gay men, and so like it was extra sweet, but like it was still just the sweetest, most amazing declaration of love that I've ever heard.
Where you're like, oh.
I was just like,
how did it feel?
It was so good. Oh, like whoever wrote those lines is just like, wow.
There's got to be times when your husband has to be aware of how lucky he is that he's with you and he's not his brother, because I would have lightly smacked Mr. B and I would have been like, why can't you say things like that? That's romantic.
Oh my gosh, no, if anybody ever said something like that to me, I would just lose it right there, and it would be an embarrassing hot mess.
Like when your eyes wouldn't stop leaking one Christmas?
Yeah, that was a very embarrassing, very hot, very messy mess. I also had an enormous head cold that day, so that didn't make anything better.
You got proposed, you had a head cold, and I was right in the middle of that being sick, and we didn't know why I was sick, so like I just felt so bad. Like, we were not good that Christmas. Both of us must have been stressing them out. Oh, poor boys. So that's it. So in theory, I've been saying this every week, I slow down and I stop reading quite so much, and I let myself get distracted with other things.
Well, I did actually read some more book, but it's the same book I've been talking about for the last 3 weeks. It goes back to the library this week. It's a digital rental, so it goes back to the library this week, so next time's the last week you'll hear about it.
Is that the...
Death by Black Hole. There has been black holes, and there has been death. There's been actual death now.
Excellent.
things have been ejected from solar systems, and we can't predict the chaos of the universe more than like 100,000 years out, and it's just terrible, and there's death, and
Oh, jeez.
no,
100,000 years out. I feel like I'm not going to live that long, so I won't come
no, I think
that
we're okay.
far
It's
there.
more like the bit I was last listening to was the reason you'd want to do that is because there's some like pretty decently sized asteroids and stuff that have really long periods or orbits, and so they only pass by every couple hundred years, and so if we can catch them early enough, we can nudge them out of a path where in like 1,000 years it would bring them crashing into Earth. But we have to be able to predict that so that we can figure out how to nudge it to get it out of the way so that in 1,000 years we're still good.
Well, yeah, because like 1,000 years from now, I don't think we can call him Bruce Willis. You know,
No,
I feel like at that
no.
point, he's earned his retirement and he's totally chilled to just have days off.
So that book that I'm referring to is Death by Black Hole by Neil deGrasse Tyson.
It's good. I'm glad that you're still making your way through it. Again, just like my knitting, do not knit or read at my speed unless that is what you like to do.
I have a book about microbes that just came up on my library app earlier today. So my next book is about microbes. Science.
I just dropped a thread. I retweeted a thread into obviously my Twitter feed that has a bunch of disability authors and books that you might want to take a look at.
Ooh, yes.
Yeah, I did that earlier this week, so you might find something in there that fits with your parameters for it and is about disability or by authors who are disabled. So written in own voices, which is always exciting. So that's a thing.
I will expand my reading horizons.
Always. I mean, again, I'm just binging on romance right now. It is what it is. So if that's it and that's all,
I believe it is.
I will say until next week, I'm Jocelyn.
I'm Diana.
And no matter where your week takes you,
Don't forget to knit.